Hello Strategy Battle Gamers and welcome to another GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your channel host GBHL Harry, and today I am trying something new. I am going to do a bit of an army builder for this book, for there and back again. Now I saw this on the Facebook page the other day. Someone wanted maybe to see a bit of a video, some army builders, and I quite write in lists. I know GBHL Jamie tires of reading other lists out. Maybe I will soon enough, but for now I thought it'd be quite a good idea to write a few lists. I'm going to do them at the 600 point size, which is for the grand tournament, which is in February. I'm going to pick certain armies to do them from the book, and then I'm going to write I've written some fluffy lists and some more sort of competitive lists at the same points level, see which we prefer. I'm going to go through a few today, so hopefully receive some feedback from you guys, see whether you could improve the lists, whether you think they're fluffy or competitive, or whether they could be more competitive, and that sort of thing. Get some feedback rolling, and then hopefully some suggestions for future videos about which armies to write about them. Okay, so I thought we'd start with sort of the new range and new models. I thought we'd start with the Iron Hills as a first list. So let me just get them in the book. So obviously Iron Hills, so I'm not going to Erebor Acclaimed, being Iron Hills itself, and this is a 600 point fluffy list. So obviously you're restricted to Dane as your named hero. Then there's captains. You can have the chariot, but obviously I'm not writing a list with the chariot in because we don't know quite how it works yet. Is that what it is? Bear me 1 second. Azog's Hunters. So Iron Hills, yep, so Dane, Iron Hills Captains, Iron Hills Dwarves, Goat Riders, Iron Hills Chariots and Iron Hills Ballista. So for a 600 point list, a fluffy list I should say, I have gone for Dane Ironfoot on Warboar, and obviously he'd be the general, and Iron Hills Captain with 12 Iron Hills Dwarves with shield. Another Iron Hills Captain with 11 Iron Hills Dwarves with shield, and that comes to 596 points. So it's pretty straightforward. Obviously with the Goat Riders not being out yet, I don't quite want to write a list with models that are not really going to be available. The Ballista is 600 points. I just think I'd use it at a higher points level than that. It just really cuts down the numbers you have or what heroes you'd take. I don't know if anyone watched the blog that Jay and Adam released, I think a couple of weeks ago, with a battle report, and Jay had written a 600 point list with the Iron Hills Dwarves, and he's got a Ballista in, and he was just very short on numbers. So I thought this one, while being fluffy, is still quite a decent list, because it's got the 26 models, obviously majority all defense 8 when they're in formation. Pretty much every model's got the ability to shield, they've all got spears, so they can all back each other up front, left, right, centre, that sort of thing. 7 might, which is not too bad, but then bearing in mind that you've got the 2 Iron Hills Captains that obviously get their special, I can't remember the name for it, but they get the Master of Battle on a 5+, so you'd think they'd get a few of them, so that's essentially 3 might or 3 actions that can be used, which is pretty cool. And obviously for being a pure Iron Hills army list, you get the army bonus of the +1 or -1 to the reinforcements roll. So the GT, thinking of the 6 scenarios there, you've got 2 scenarios which are Maelstrom of Battle, which is really handy to help sort of troops come on together or come at similar points, or allowing you to choose where they come on. And I think that allows, because on this list it's Captain and Warband, and Dane on his own. Maybe you could jiggle it up and put Dane with a few and maybe go 8/8, 6 or something like that, wherever it comes to. But with that +1, I think then your Dane's got that freedom to come on and just do his thing. That reinforcements roll is also handy for recon, because you get the +1 to come on from the start. And in the others, I think the other scenarios, I think you're just deploying your own half, so it's no relevance there. I think it's just a cool little army bonus. And obviously you get the Iron Hills bonus themselves anyway of just going up to defense 8 when they're all in base contact. I think it's quite a nice solid force without adding extra things in it. It just worked quite nice as a list. Yes, and it's not too much to get to use the list. So you need to obviously get Dane and your Iron Hills Dwarves, then you just need a couple of captains. I'll say those captains are cool. Defense 8, fight 5, with that 5+ Master of Battle roll is pretty handy. So I think that's quite cool. It's 26 models, you need to kill 14 of them to break it, which is pretty tough. 14 defense, 7, 8 models is never easy. You've got the killing power of Dane. Obviously he also makes the troops sort of fearless and pass all courage tests within 12 inches, which is kind of good if you do get broken. Dane as a general is a little risky because he has to charge once he's got done that first charge, so you kind of might have your general running off, which is never quite the best. But the troops are still pretty sturdy, and I say it's hard to break. My only other thought was if you dropped maybe 2 Iron Hills, so you went for a warband of 10 or warband 11, and you could put a banner in, because banner is obviously always helpful to the death, and gives you that extra dice in the fight, so if you're fighting in a compact space. So yes, so that's the 600 point fluffy Iron Hills themed list. But it could work quite well at the GT, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so then sticking with the similar theme of sort of Iron Hills and Erebor Acclaimed, I thought I'd write a 600 point list which is a bit more competitive. I've put written filth, but I don't think it's quite filth because it's not like it's dropped fatty bulg or anything in there like that. It's just got an extra alliance in it, so I'll go through it and tell me what you think. So it's 600 points of Erebor Acclaimed and, well, Erebor Acclaimed and Galadriel essentially. So it's Dwalin champion of Erebor with 12 Iron Hills Dwarf plus shield. You've got Bomber, champion of Erebor, being the general, come back to that, with 12 Iron Hills Dwarves with shield. And then you've got Galadriel, Lady of Light. So that's 593 points, so I'm sure things could be jiggled about and you could spend the extra 7 points. But it is, for 600 points, it is one more model than the first list. It's got one more might, it's got the 8 might. So you have to now, because it has the 27 models, you need to kill 15 to break it. So 15 models at defense 8 is 7 or 8, it's pretty tough. I've gone for Bomber as general, because he's got the 3 wounds. He's only got the 1 fate and he's defense 7, but I'm thinking if Galadriel's around as Lady of Light, she can channel Fortify Spirit him, so he's not going to get cast on. It's going to be very hard to get a spell off successfully on him. And he can just sit at the back, not have to worry about getting in combat like you do with Dane in the first one, because you want Dane to go and kill stuff, but you're putting your general at risk. Whereas Bomber can sit at the back, pretty much in base contact with Galadriel, and hopefully give her a 3 point of will each turn. So on a 4+, he gives a model in base contact with a will point back, which I think for Galadriel, Lady of Light, who I've used quite a lot now, could be invaluable. It allows them more dice to do a banishes or to do further Fortify Spirits. And I think one that's crucial, when I've played Ring Race with Galadriel, when she's been sat wielding on to 0, obviously Fortify Spirit goes off all the heroes, and there's no way of putting it back up because it's an exhaustion spell. You've always got to have some in your store. However, if Bomber gives 1 back to Galadriel, she goes back up to 1. She can then use a free one to do a 2+ Fortify on herself again, gives her that protection, and then it allows her to do 1 dice Fortify on the others, knowing she's still got 1 in her store. And I was thinking of that combo last night, I thought that's pretty cool. And say the Bomber defense 7, 3 wounds as a general ain't bad shot, knowing that Galadriel can look after him. And then having Dwalin, who is an absolute combat monster, having him Fortify Spirited, so he's not going to get cast on, which tends to be the way he gets taken out of games. He can just feel free to go and kill his 3 models a turn. If you had the points to mount him, God do it, because he just chop everything up. But his common waxes of the dwarves, I think it's Gimli's one, but his special rules, which he's got, where you can go to strength 5 burly, 2-handed piercing strike, whatever it is, he's good. So knowing that he's continuously killing troops is good. You got the dwarves there as a strong line. And then you got Galadriel kicking butt in combat as well. Now that she's strength 4, she really paves the way and she does that bit of damage. So having Galadriel protecting the heroes, you've also got Blinding Light from Galadriel to keep yourself in a bit of a safe bubble with -1 courage to your opponent, which ain't bad. With Galadriel and Dwalin killing, the troops killing, and then Bomber sort of staying safe as a general. I think it's pretty cool list. You could maybe shake it up a little bit and put a banner in, because banner's always good. But I think you'd have to drop maybe 3 models, which ain't good, because you're up into 24 then. But I think as a 600 point force, it's definitely more competitive in my opinion than the first list. I think that little bomber and Galadriel trick I really like. She's good anti-Wraith. Yes, you've not got an immobilise in there and stuff like that. But knowing that your heroes can't really be immobilised, you can just hope to just get in there and kick butt. Do Bakar and all that. So yes, so they're the 2 600 point lists, Fluff and Filth for good, which I've done. So the Iron Hills one and the Erebor Reclaimed combination with Galadriel. I think they're pretty nice lists. Let me know what you think of them, whether they'd be viable to take at tournament. And then I thought I'd do 2 good, 2 evil. Sticking with the new book again. I didn't want to tackle Azog's Legion just yet because I'm not well versed. They're too well versed with it, and I thought I'd do one I'm a bit more familiar with the models that I've got, which is an Azog's Hunters list. So I've done a 600 point fluffy Azog's Hunters list using experience that I've got using Hunter Orcs and things like that, and obviously the new army bonus for Azog's Hunters. So I've gone for Bolg on Felwarg with an Orc Bow. He's leading 6 Hunter Orcs on Felwarg. We've got Narzug on Warg with 12 Hunter Orcs with Bow. We've got a Hunter Orc Captain on Felwarg and Bow with 12 Hunter Orcs with 2-handed weapon. Yes, that's it. That's so 33 models. The idea is it's sort of the army of Hunter Orcs that's chasing the dwarves down the river after Mirkwood. Yes, there's not really Hunter Orcs on Warg there, but I needed to spend the points. Instead of having 3 warbands of 12 Hunter Orcs, I thought 2 warbands of 12 and a ward of 6 mounted to go with Bolg would be pretty cool. So it's 33 models. You have to kill 18 to break it. It's got 8 might. It has the army bonus because it's all from Azog's Hunters list, where it's got +1. So you can get 50% bows, which is pretty cool, and you get +1 to hit with the bows from the troops, and they also get the Morgul arrows. So straight away out of the 33 models, you then got 15 of them with bows, hitting on 4 pluses. Yes, it's an Orc bow and it hitting on 4+ strength too. It's not massive, but if you play someone that hasn't got shooting, you have. All of a sudden you've got that control element. You can sit and allow them to come to you. Say if you played the 2 Iron Hills Dwarves list on the page we discussed a minute ago, you have the option the dwarves have to come to you. And even if you've got 15 shots a turn, hitting on 4s, wounding on 6s by 5s, really, you might kill 1 or 2 before combat. It'll help the numbers in your favour. And then you've got all of those strength 4 2 attack models in the combat. So yes, it's still 6s to wound, but you've got loads of them. And lots of feinting as well. If you can get some traps in there, those attacks add up quick. And I thought the 12 2-handers, just again, if you can get 3 Hunter Orcs into a dwarf, you go 1 2-handed and 2 feinting. That's 6 dice, multiply up to 12 if you get that model trapped. You're easily going to kill, and it'll just add up. So I think it's a theme list to say that's why I've gone for the Hunter Orc Captain as opposed to another named Hunter Orc Captain like Fimble or what's the one? Yes, I've gone for Narzug and a Captain because that's sort of who's with Bolg when they're chasing the dwarves down the river. I think it's cool because it's good to see a shooting in an evil army that's not crossbows or Harad. I think 15 bows at 4+ with the Morgul arrow bonus is cool. Even if you shot all those into a hero, knowing that they may take 1 wound, and then each turn there's chances they may take further wounds. Just remembering that and doing your correct bookkeeping, but I think it's quite a cool little special rule. So I really quite like this list. It's made me then think a little bit about the GT. It could work quite well because you've got numbers, you've got that speed, you've got lots of 2 attack models, you've got a beastie general in Bolg, and he's always great fun to use to get that kill count going up. And if you can get to 10, Mighty Hero is so good. Yeah, your heroes are on Warg as well, so they've got good mobility. It lacks the shaman sort of thing because it's themed, so if you played a terror army you struggle, but good versus evil you're only going to go against Army of the Dead or of Dismay, really. That's on Eagles, that sort of thing that will cause you a problem, but you've got enough guys to hopefully pass tests. Yeah, so I think that's a pretty cool list for 600 points, and I say it's still very fluffy. It's not been fixed, so it's extra competitive, it's not filthy anyway, and it's all from one place, so it gets the army bonus. So I'm quite like that list. I was quite happy with when I wrote it last night. Let me know what you think, guys, if you think it's viable, or would you take something similar. I think the numbers are good, the heroes are good. Yeah, maybe some Felwargs in there, but I don't know, they're not so much there, that part of the film, just themed. So yeah, Okay, so then we're going to come on to another next one. We're going to come to a 600 point list, which is a bit more competitive, a bit filthier. Not as themed for sure, but still, it's cool. So it's an Azog Hunters combination. So I've dropped the big general in bulk because I just think he can get turned off by and immobilised pretty easily once his will's gone. So I've gone for Azog on Warg with 12 Hunter Hooks. Yaznek on Warg with a Lance with 12 Hunter Hooks. And then we're trotting over to Mordor for an Orc Shaman with 6 Morannon Orcs with Shield and Spear. And then the Shadow Lord on horse with 6 Morannons with Shield and Spear again. So you still get your 24 block of Hunter Orcs, 24 models with 2 attacks each at strength 4 is good always. And then to have them backed up with 12 Morannons with Spear. So essentially you're getting a lot of 3 attack combinations there, which can really punch through. Yes, the fight is lower, but when you win the fight, having 3 attacks, fainting at the front, strength 4, you're killing quite a lot of the time. And a big combination of that. Having the Shaman to give them all Fury, so you're always passing Courage tests, and then you channel your Fury, and you're saving Hunter Orcs on 5s, and then Morannons on 5s with the Fury save, which is good. It just keeps your models around longer. Again, and it also stops that worry for when you're broken, you're not just going to flee like anything. And then the Shadow Lord gives obviously that shooting protection, because again at the GT, the way the setups are looking good, are going to get a lot of shooting in, and I think it'll really do the damage before combat. So having a Shadow Lord, sadly it's going back to the old days when you see the Shadow Lord in a lot of lists, but he's needed. I just think, again, with those defensive Hunter Orcs, or bows killing them on 5s, or it's not pretty, even if you marched with the army, you're still going to take a bit of damage from those strength 2 bows. So I think the Shadow Lords are needed, and I'd probably have him as the general. Yes, he's a risky general if there's Legolas around, or Bard and people like that. But I'd probably have him over one of the Hunter Orc captains to stay at the back and hope you're not playing a Legolas. Preserve that will. And of course having a Ringwraith in the list is very handy for those immobilisers and stuff and those cheeky compels to have charges early and stuff like that. So it's 9 might, 40 models. So Alistair would like that, being around 40. Obviously killing 21 to break it. It's not bad. I'd quite like to see those 2 lists go up against the Iron Hills list that I wrote before, because I think the strength 4 would be interesting on both sides. Obviously the Iron Hills dwarves killing the Hunter Orcs on 4s, but then the 2 attack models of the Hunter Orcs going against the Iron Hills dwarves could do a bit of damage there as well. So yeah, let me know what you think of those lists, guys. If you think they're good ideas, and if we like this type of idea as content, if you want more videos coming out which talking about army lists and which ways to build them, have them strong, because I don't know, I'd like to think I'm pretty good at writing lists. I've written them for quite a long time. Okay, and the final thing I want to run by you guys, just as a fun thing, don't know if you've seen my hobby vlog, but I'm planning on taking 2 Uruk-hai Siege Ballistas to Gethin Watkins' 500 point event, the Beacons of Chester. March or April, I can't remember where it is. But I want to take 2 ballistas. I'm not bothered if I do well or not. And I had an idea, which could be fun, but it also could be terrible, so please let me know whether it'd just do terrible or whether it could be fun and is viable to take. At 500 points, an engineer captain with a siege ballista, with a demolition team and a warg rider, and the second warband being another engineer captain with a siege ballista and a demolition team and 2 warg riders. So 15 models, 4 might, 2 bombs, and obviously 2 ballistas. Could be awful. But imagine hitting a bomb with a ballista, sending it forward, and then it detonating. Pew, that could be cool. It could also be terrible, proper terrible. So I say I'm not bothered if I even got the spoon from the event. I want to take this to be fun. But would it be fun, or would it just be I just get pummeled really quick and all my games are done in 20 minutes, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I wish I'd written these lists a bit more competitive. So let me think. I've written another one with a few like berserkers and stuff, still taking the 2 ballistas, but I don't know, I'd like to see what people's views are of the two ballistas and 2 bombs for 500 points with the engineer captains, because you're going to do a bit with the ballistas. Maybe, I don't know. Let us know, guys, let us know. So yeah, so they're the lists that I've put together for this army builder video. Let us know if we get some good feedback and stuff like that. I will continue them and pick a few more lists in the book. Like I do the Mirkwood list, I could do a Lake Town one, tackle the Azog's Hunters one, which is a bit scary. The Ringwraith one speaks for itself, I think, but it's, I suppose, which combination to go for with the Necromancer, so I'll have to study that. But yeah, let me know. Cheers guys. Okay, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe to the GBHL YouTube channel and the Facebook page always. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Support your Hobbit hosts in the links below. Support your Hobbit hobby, and happy strategy battle gaming, everybody.